Guys, about a month ago, I made a video telling you that purchasing the 11-inch iPad Pro was a $1,500 mistake. And honestly, I meant it. Now, since that time, I've had a ton of you asking me, how do I plan to fix it? Did I even fix it? How am I going to figure this out? So I spent the last few weeks actually trying to do so, and I've built an entire desk setup around it. Now, today, I'm going to show you exactly what I put together, what's changed, what still doesn't work, and by the end of this video, you will learn how you can adapt your iPad Pro to make it more functional for your own use. And if it doesn't work, I'm just going to sell it and cut the loss. Let's get into it. Now, real quick for anyone who did not see the original video, the short version is I downsized from an M4 13-inch iPad Pro to the most powerful 11-inch tablet that Apple makes today, M5, 1 terabyte, the whole kit and caboodle. But the problem was I kept reaching for my 14-inch MacBook Pro. Not because the iPad is, a bad tablet, but because I was still treating it like it was the 13-inch iPad Pro, which I sold. And I was wondering why this felt like an expensive way to watch YouTube. Well, that's the thing that I didn't get until recently, that the iPad Pro is not a laptop replacement right out of the box. It needs a proper setup for what it actually is and what it can be. So that is what I tried to build. Let me show you exactly what I did. Now, coming from the 13-inch, the biggest thing that was holding me back when I would use the 11-inch is the amount of usable screen real estate. It doesn't seem like a lot, but 2 inches is going to make all the difference here. Now, what would happen is if I was writing scripts, writing email, doing any type of research, I would have to flip back and forth between windows. And for me, I would lose context and just add frustration because I'd be like, oh, where am I at? What's the window? So it didn't work out for me in this small space. Now, multitasking in iPadOS 26 is much better now. But even if you have 2 windows side by side, they're very much cramped for the way that I work. So the first thing that I did was add an external display. And that's where things started to click, because with older versions of iPadOS, whenever you would plug it into an external monitor, you would just get mirroring. So basically the same image on both your iPad and on the newer display. Well, now you can actually use it as an extended display, meaning that you can actually have different apps running on different monitors or your iPad and the external monitor. Now I can have my script on the iPad screen where I'm writing and doing all my research while having tabs in Safari on the external monitor. I don't need to switch. I'm no more losing flow. It just changes the whole experience. And suddenly the iPad feels less like a tablet and more like an actual workstation, because that's what we both want, right? You want to be able to use it like a workstation. Now, you don't need to buy the monitor that I'm using specifically. This is a 32-inch LG, but just adding the monitor, the principle behind it, and the accessories that we're going to talk about next will take you from a touch-first user to a desktop-first user. Now, here's the thing about the iPad Pro that we all collectively know, but no one really wants to acknowledge or talk about. And it's really the iPad's biggest weakness, and the fact that it's got one USB-C port. Just one. On the iPad Pro, it's Thunderbolt. On other versions, it's just USB-C. But that single port, when you are mobile, it works. But when you're at a desk, it is a bottleneck to whatever you want to do. And the moment you want to plug in a monitor, drives, speakers, you need a hub. And that honestly is where everything gets unlocked in the workflow. Without it, the iPad is just an expensive one-port device that you can't really take advantage of without this. Here's where I connect my external display, charge my iPad, plug in external storage, all simultaneously, and the iPad is no longer a bottleneck for doing actual real work. I'll link what I'm using down in the video description, but whatever you get, make sure that it either supports Thunderbolt for iPad Pro or DisplayPort Alt, so you can go ahead and get the external display image as well as charging your iPad. Now guys, sometimes the fix isn't about what you buy, it's about how you set it up. Now, I already owned the Magic Keyboard for the iPad, but what changed was I was treating the Magic Keyboard like a laptop accessory built for portability, but at a desk, it becomes a much more ergonomic stand that happens to have a keyboard and a trackpad. The posture is way better. Instead of me hunching over to type, I'm looking at the iPad straight ahead. My neck isn't sore after 3 hours of use. I don't want my shoulders all cramped. Everything feels that much more intentional. All right, guys, one of the issues that I have with the 11-inch Magic Keyboard, specifically when I'm using it at my desk, is the size of the trackpad. Now, the trackpad's great. It works well. It's just too small for me to use. It's too small of a surface area. It's one of the things I do wish I had for the 13-inch iPad Pro. Now, I could go out and buy another trackpad. I would have to then incur that cost. I could get an existing trackpad that I have, but then I always have to resync it with my Mac. So what I do is I just repurpose the mouse that I already have, and I go ahead and use it at this desk setup. I am using it with the Logitech Bolt dongle. That's the USB-C version, which I can't believe it took them this long to make a USB-C version. Crazy that it took that long, but that's what I do for maximum connectivity whenever I am at this desk. So I use a mouse, easier to use, and iPadOS, it supports all the mouse functions, I think, just as well. I might even prefer it over the trackpad. Now, here's the thing that I did not expect. When I built a desk setup around a new primary device being my iPad, the role of my iPhone completely changes, and it now becomes a secondary device in my setup. And that role is much more useful when the device is ready to serve. Quick captures, voice memos, document scanning, and that's all possible thanks to today's sponsor. This is the ESR CryoBoost Qi 2.2 charger, and it can charge your iPhone up to 25 watts while simultaneously charging your AirPods as well as your Apple Watch. Conventional chargers could not keep up when I'm charging my iPhone because it would heat up while I was charging, which meant slower charging speeds right when I needed my iPhone to be ready. But with active cooling, the iPhone charges at full speed without thermal throttling or impacting the battery. This charges at 25 watts with active cooling, which is the differentiator here, meaning my iPhone is fully charged and ready within 1 hour, not 3. And as a bonus, it handles my AirPods and Apple Watch at the same time, so everything is charged all from one spot on my desk. When it's charging, I turn to landscape to show the time in nightstand mode, clock visible, notifications hidden. And if you're looking for a more compact solution without compromising on speed or quality, there's the ESR CryoBoost foldable magnetic charging station. Now it handles all the essentials in one place, just like its big brother, but when it's time to travel, it folds down flat, making this the perfect travel companion without needing multiple chargers. Now, thanks to ESR for sponsoring today's video. The link is in the description for you guys to check it out. Okay, so what is the verdict? Did I fix my $15 mistake, or did I just make it worse and spend more money and compound the problem? Well, the answer is I did fix it, but not completely. So let me explain. The problem was really never the iPad, it was about me and the way I was approaching the problem of using an 11-inch iPad like I was using a 13-inch iPad, because all of my usage was based on a mental model of a 13-inch iPad. Once I gave into that, and the fact that I could use the iPad for real work, when I added these additional accessories like a monitor, a hub, and putting it into a dedicated workspace, it went from a $1,500 couch companion to an actual primary writing device and research device for me. Now, I'm not reaching for the MacBook Pro nearly as much as I was. My entire writing research workflow lives on my iPad, like creative work. That's where I'm doing all of this. The setup I built turned my $1,500 mistake into something that I genuinely want to pick up and use first. And this setup delivers that, but I don't know if it's going to fix your setup, and that is exactly what I want to test next. In the next video, I'll be testing this setup for your workflows, content creation, studying, creative work, full laptop replacement, real tasks. So drop a comment down below telling me your specific use case, because if enough of you have a similar use case, I'll go ahead and test it and give the results for a definitive answer in the next video. Your comment helps test what actually matters, so it's just not some YouTuber testing video creation or drawing in Adobe. Hit that subscribe button because that video is coming out soon. Now, everything in the setup will be linked down in the video description. And before you go, if you want to become more productive on your iPad, I have an iPad shortcuts video. It'll be up here. You can use that video to build a shortcut menu, kind of like what you see on the iPhone when you press the action button. That video is going to be up here. And the next week is going to be a big announcement week for Apple, their spring 2026 products. I'll leave a link to that playlist down here. Guys, my name is Mike, and I'll talk to you in the next one.